homework platform for the course. So I have an announcement here where I'm welcoming you to the course. And my name is Dan DiPolo, obviously. I've been working at BMCC since 2012. And I teach research methods, I teach statistics, I teach abnormal, intro, and hopefully some more courses, down the line, like health psych and things like that. I've been doing online classes since 2017, summer of 2017. So I have a lot of experience doing this. Brightspace is a little bit different than Blackboard. It's usable. It's nothing difficult about it per se. It's just different. So if you haven't taken summer courses this past summer, this might be the first time you're using Brightspace. And if it's the first time you're using Brightspace, you want to use Brightspace Help, Student Brightspace Orientation. So you're going to enroll in course, and you're going to do the Brightspace Orientation, and it's going to walk you through how to do some basic things in Brightspace. And I'm going to show you how to do them in this video as well. But you should do the Brightspace Orientation if you haven't taken the online summer class yet. Oh, this past summer semester. Okay, so I really like research, and I really like research methods. My mind is very analytical, and this is a course I've taught way back to when I was at Rutgers, first as a graduate student, PhD student, and then as an adjunct professor at Rutgers in the early 2000s-ish. I really enjoyed teaching research methods and helping students sort of appreciate research. So think of it not as like sort of a really painful experience. Try to accept it. Try to understand that it's a very important foundational part of psychology, and don't resist it. Right? Like, so sometimes students get to the point where they're resisting a course, and it makes the whole course very difficult. I would say be open-minded about it. Be willing to work. I expect you to work. I expect you to work and do the work on time. I want to see effort. And I want to see improvement throughout the course. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for perfection, but I do want to see you, read my comments on your papers and make improvements. And try. And read research articles. And not try to take shortcuts. So please set aside enough time to do the course on a weekly basis. It's going to require several hours a week to read through the material and do the assignments. And the assignments are the online homework, which I'm going to talk about, called Achieve, and also the discussion board, and then the manuscript. So in this class, I have you, besides taking exams, midterm and a final, I have you writing a paper, a professional manuscript, well, technically a student manuscript, but I'm modeling it after a real manuscript. And that includes things like the introduction, the method section, the discussion section, the abstract, all of that stuff you're going to be writing. So we're going to be collecting data, and the data to be collected is going to be based on research into COVID that I've been doing over the last several semesters, and factors associated with COVID vaccination and following COVID protocols. So a lot of you don't care about COVID anymore, and you have every right to do that because COVID is kind of become endemic. It's moved from the pandemic stage to the endemic stage, which means that it's here to stay. It's become like another virus that we can get year-round, and no one wants to talk about it. And some people think, conspiratorially, that it's, the vaccine was government controlling and all this stuff. And everybody's got different ideas, and I respect people's ideas. I may not agree with everything, but I respect people to have their own thoughts, make their own decisions. However, from a health psychology point of view, and I'm a health psychologist, I want to know why people make the decisions they make and what are the consequences. And we know from the beginning of the pandemic that people made some dumb decisions, right? I mean, okay, people want to live their life, but they were living their life without taking any precautions. Some people, not all. Some people were doing this. And the virus spread like crazy, and people got sick, and people died. And I personally know many people that have died. Many, family and non-family. And it was horrible. Horrible, horrible, terrible. And some people still think, whatever, you know, I had to live my life, and therefore I can't worry about, you know, getting people sick accidentally. And yeah, right. But the thing with COVID was the mortality rate was so low. If the mortality rate was higher, like let's say a smallpox, if COVID was smallpox, this country would be completely wrecked, completely, with the way things were handled. And as a researcher, I want to know why. What makes people want to listen to health advice, and what makes people not want to? Is it pure empathy? Is it selfishness? Is it a combination? Is it the government's lying to us? Is it the government's not lying to us? And there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of personality factors. There's a lot of behavioral factors involved in why people care or not care about a pandemic disease like COVID. Some people just said, not a big deal. I don't know anybody that's really sick or dying, and I want to live my life and all that stuff. And that was the decision they made. Other people kind of stayed in their house and did nothing. I'm not saying one pattern of behavior is better than the other. There's obviously truth to all sides on the issue. But the behavior did lead to many, many deaths. And if it was a much more serious disease, it could have been cataclysmic for not just the US, but the entire world. And if it's going to happen again, which it will, there'll be another pandemic, and it won't take 100 years. From like the 1918 flu to the 2019 COVID, right? What happens in the next pandemic if we just kind of say, screw it? Like, you know, the lockdowns were bad, whether you agree or disagree with that. I mean, that's not the question. The question is, what if the next pandemic has a much higher lethality and we handle it the same way we handled COVID? So that's kind of my idea for collecting data on it. And although we are removed from COVID, we still have some interesting data to collect about attitudes and personality traits related to behaviors during COVID. So it's part of a bigger data collection that I think is worth looking into. And so there'll be an online survey for you to complete, and then I'll analyze the data, and I'll write the results section, and then you're going to write all the other sections of the manuscript, and I'm going to give you feedback. I'm going to give you videos on how to write each section, and I'm going to give you feedback once you turn in your submissions, your rough drafts. And then at the end of the semester, you're going to rewrite the entire manuscript based on my feedback. And hopefully you will improve the final manuscript. And most of the time people do. And that's the whole goal of the course, is to get familiar with scientific writing and then to improve your abilities, right? So that's the writing part, and then you'll have a midterm and a final multiple choice exam that'll be administered online, and then you'll have discussion boards. There's 10 discussion boards throughout the semester, and then you have Achieve homework, which is the online homework, and I'm going to show you that shortly. So how do you purchase it? You could either purchase it online. So if you want the ebook with the Achieve homework, which you need to buy, you can buy the ebook, which is included with the Achieve package, for cheaper online. If you want a physical copy of the book, you can go to the bookstore and get the loose leaf copy with the Achieve package, the code that you'll need to enter to get access to Achieve, the homework system. And that's going to be a little bit more expensive. Personally, I read ebooks, I read online all the time. It's probably not great for my vision. My vision keeps getting worse, but if you're spending a lot of time in front of the computer, you're used to reading off a computer. And you can probably read the text off the computer. Just take breaks so you're not constantly being exposed to the computer or the tablet. If you like a physical copy of the book, then I have ordered from the bookstore physical copies. And you just put it into a binder, and you have your physical. You can turn the page physically. If that's what you want, you have that option. It's a little bit more money, but it's in the bookstore. In terms of contacting me, most of the contact will be through emails. So if you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours. If on the weekend, it may take a little bit longer. But the bottom line is I respond to emails all the time. I respond to emails whenever I'm awake, pretty much. That's just how I am. I check my emails a lot. I respond to them. If I'm out somewhere, I respond to emails. And I'm out a lot. But I'm still plugged in, you know, that sort of thing. I'm the kind of person that, like, goes on vacation and brings their laptop because there's stuff to do. That's just sort of the way I work. Yeah, go on vacation's fun and all, but, like, I still want to know what's going on. I still want to keep up to date. I still want to respond. I still want to do a little bit of work if I can. I can't just get away from things permanently for like weeks at a time. It just doesn't work that way. So I will respond to your email. Probably in the same day, most likely in the same day, almost surely. Sometimes within the same hour, depending on if I'm awake and what I'm doing, and you know, I could be doing something. I take my phone out and I'll check my emails and I'll respond. It's just kind of how I am. So, I don't like to say workaholic. I mean, I like to work. My father was a workaholic. I'm trying not to be like that, but I do like to work. So, in other words, take advantage of my workaholic nature and drop me a line, email me, ask questions. I will get back to you. If you're confused, ask questions. If you need to meet on Zoom, Friday afternoons are probably the best time for Zoom for me. If you can't do Friday afternoons into early evenings, then I say just email me and I can try to do Zoom another time. I have more free time on Friday, but I can try to Zoom other time if you can't make that. If you want to set up an appointment on Zoom, email me in advance, and that way I can give you a designated time, so you're not just waiting on Zoom if I'm with somebody else or I'm in another meeting. That way we're not wasting your time. Not wasting my time, not wasting your time, having you just sit there and wait for me to finish. So if you want a Zoom appointment, just send me an email. Can I meet with you at 3, 4, whatever on Friday? And I will most likely have availability, and we can meet and we can talk and work out what the concerns are. So it's better to work out the concerns. It's better to contact me than just try to do what you want to do, right? Because some students just want to write the paper the way they want to write it, and they don't want to follow the directions, or they're unable to follow directions. And that's a problem, right? Because now I'm reading the paper and I'm saying, what is this? This is not what I asked for. Why didn't this person contact me if they were unsure what I wanted? So please contact me if you have questions, and we can work it out. I do ask that you try to submit everything on time. This is a week-to-week course, not a course where you just do everything at the end of the semester. So this is definitely not your let's cram everything in the last week of the semester course. If you try to do that, you're going to fail. Like literally fail the course. So please do the work on a weekly basis. If there's an emergency or there's some catastrophic event or whatever, please email me and let me know what's going on, and then I can give you an extension and help you in any way I can. Just don't disappear and try to do everything at the end, because it doesn't work that way. Okay, so what I say in this message is let's look in the syllabus and let's look in the weekly guide. These are probably the two most important things in the course. So this is widgets under table of contents. Course information has the syllabus and it has the Achieve, where you can register for Achieve. The weekly guide tells you every week what you have to do. So let's start with the syllabus. So here's a PDF. I just click on it and it downloads into this window here. If you want to download it to your computer, go to the bottom here and hit download. And there you go. Here's the syllabus. There's my name, Dan DePaul, PhD. Did my PhD at Rutgers. Semester. The modality is fully online asynchronous, which means we're not meeting on Zoom, only for office hours if you want. My office hours are Friday 3 to 6. I am on campus Monday and Wednesday afternoons into early evenings. If for some reason you need to see me on campus, I have an office on campus, but it's probably just easier to Zoom or email, right? But I am on campus because I do teach stats and intro on campus on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have a phone number in my office. There's no point calling the phone number because I'm going to get your phone message in my email anyway and respond in my email. Phones are just, look, no one makes phone calls anymore these days. I know it's kind of crazy, but that's just the way it is. Emails, I mean, look, I email everybody. And I respond quickly, both personally and professionally. That's just the way, you know, and obviously text messages if you want to, you know, correspond to your colleagues with text messages, that's fine. I personally do not correspond with text messages from my classes. Some professors might. I just don't feel the need. I mean, I generally don't even like texting people I know back right away. I will do it, but it's like, yeah. So emails and Zoom, best bet. You know, calling my office number is kind of pointless. I put it on here just for it to be on here, but I almost never answer the phone. Okay, here's the learning outcomes, and here's how I'm going to assess it. Like I said before, I'm going to teach you how to write a manuscript according to APA style. I'm going to teach you to appreciate research, especially how difficult it is in psychology. This is not an easy class. This is a class you have to work at. This is not a class where you're just going to respond to a discussion board and you're going to be done for the week. There is work in this class. It is considered kind of like a capstone class. So be ready to work and make the effort. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in effort. And I can tell effort very easily. I can tell when you've put time into writing an assignment, and I can tell when you've written it in 5 minutes. It's very easy to tell. So put in effort. I do not enjoy failing people, but I will fail people who don't do the work or make zero effort in doing the work. So, most of the time that's not the case, but I do fail people. It's not something I enjoy doing. I'd rather give all A's to people, but you have to earn it. You have to earn it. And the reason you have to earn it is because after you leave BMCC, things get significantly harder. BMCC is the easy part. That's when you have professors that you can talk to, who can help you, who really want to see you do well. Like, I want to see my students do well. I want to see you succeed. At the four-year college, you don't always have that. You have professors sometimes that don't care. And sometimes you don't even have professors. You'll have graduate assistants who are interested in doing their own work and graduating. They're not interested in teaching. You know, and they really don't care, but they have to do the course. They have to teach the course because they're required to, but they don't really care about you. They care about their own work. So BMCC is a place where the faculty really care about the students, more so. And I worked at Rutgers. It's not the case at Rutgers. Some faculty care about students, some faculty don't. Some faculty teach one course a year. So how can you really care about students if you're teaching one course a year? You care about your research, you care about your grants. You may like students, but you're teaching one course a year. At BMCC, we teach a lot and we care a lot. And we know the difficulties that our students have. And, you know, things are challenging. Life is challenging. We understand that, and we're here to support you. But you have to make the effort. If you don't make the effort, then I can't make the effort. These are some more gen ed learning requirements. So this is what I want in terms of the text. Discovering the Sciences Within, 3rd edition, with Achieve. As I said, you can buy this on the website. If you buy the Achieve homework on the website, you get the ebook with it. So if you don't mind reading off your tablet or your computer or your laptop or your phone even, you can just get the Achieve homework package online with the ebook. It's cheaper. If you want something to hold, something physical, you get this, the loose leaf with the Achieve at the bookstore. It's more expensive. And you get the card for Achieve, and you have to enter that access code. So if you want a physical copy, you want to go to the bookstore or you want to order online, but you want to make sure you get the loose leaf with the Achieve access code. It has to be with the Achieve access code, because you need that code to register for Achieve. And I've done that at the bookstore. Now, the bookstore, I don't know what the prices they have. I have a list price here, but the price can vary. The bookstore marks things up. But I have to place the order with the bookstore. If you don't want to get it from the bookstore, you can get it from somewhere else. Or you can just buy the ebook, which most people do. You buy the ebook by just buying the Achieve package. And then you just read the book online. And you have access for 6 months. Now, you will get a 2-week free trial that starts the first day the course starts. Right? So 2 weeks from that first date the course starts, you will get a 2-week free trial. After that 2-week free trial, you have to pay for access. Please use the same email and the same username that you use for the free trial when you pay for access. So you're not showing up under 2 different emails in my gradebook. You want to use the same email and identification username that you use for the free trial. So 2-week free trial if you need it. If not, you can purchase access either physically with the Achieve card, access card, or the ebook. So you go to achievemacmillanlearning.com. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it into my browser. And then you want to click on, I need to enroll in a course. And then you're going to enter the code I have here for you. So that code here is this one here, T4M5MD. It's a little harder to select it on the, there you go, PDF. You put the code in now. I'm just going to copy and paste the code. And it's not going to let me register because it's saying I can't register until this date. That's the official start of the course. So when you get this, when you're watching this video, you can already register. Okay. I will show you what the Achieve package looks like, though, since I can't enroll as a student. I'll show you what you're going to be seeing. So I'm going to sign in. Research in psychology. So this is what you're going to see. Every week you have a bunch of assignments. If you see this black book, that means it's a reading. So this is where you can read the text. You click on the link here and you read the beginning of the chapter 1 introduction, which is just one page, right? Right, this is just the first page of chapter 1. If you want to read the whole chapter in an ebook, you can just click on the left here, chapter 1, and you can read the whole chapter. You just got to click on each section. And you'll read the whole thing online, which I do personally. But some people don't always like to read books online. But you know, we're always attached to, you know, either your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your computer. We're always online. We're looking at screens all day and all night long. I think that's, you know, whether that's healthy or not, I don't know, but that's our society. So we're all used to reading things online. But if you want to read something, you know, hold something and read it physically, you can buy the loose leaf. It's a little bit more money, but it's, you know, if you want something to hold and read. Okay, so that's the ebook. So wherever you see this black book, that means it's a reading. Those readings are not graded. You're supposed to do the readings, right? I start out with the orientation for the first assignment. This walks you through Achieve and teaches you how to use Achieve. You get 5 points for that, right? Then you'll see some video activities where you watch a video and you have to answer questions. You get points for that. So whatever you see here is something you have to do. If there's points next to it, you need to complete it, okay? If it's a black book, you need to read it. So you see a bunch of things I have. Learning curve is kind of a method of studying and rehearsing the material. It's like a game almost. And you got that a few times here in chapter 1. Then you have some more applications, research and action. So it gives you scenarios and then it asks you questions. Then there's a quiz based on this. There's more learning curve, which is another study. It's kind of a flashcard study mechanism program. The flashcards are no points, but I include them here, or if you want to just quiz yourself on the terminology of the chapter. And then what's very important here is the practice quiz. That's worth 10 points. All these other things are worth 5 points. The practice quiz is worth 10. Once you've completed all these assignments for the week, you're done. And then the next week you'll see the dates here. The next week you have more assignments. So every week you have online homework and readings, whether online or, you know, in a physical form. You have that every week. Now, if you want to know exactly what you have every week, you can see that on Brightspace. So let's temporarily take a break from the syllabus. Let's go to Brightspace. Here's the syllabus. Let's go back to course home. So course information tells you the syllabus and it gives you the Achieve, which you need to register. The weekly guide tells you what you need to do each week. So if I click on weekly guide, these are my learning objectives. This is my to-do list. And here's the video that you're watching right now under Introduction to Course. That's the link to this video you're watching. I've also made video lectures for each chapter. And I've also, so it says video lecture, that means like I've done a YouTube video for it. And then it says lecture chapter 1 webpage. This is just a PDF of the slides. So if you don't want to watch the video lecture, you could just look at the slides for chapter 1. I encourage you to watch the video lectures because I recorded them a couple years ago and they take forever to make. I mean, they really do take a long time. So I've made all these and I think they're helpful. It's similar to if I was lecturing in person. It's all on YouTube. And so I think they're helpful, but like, let's say you don't want to watch the video lecture or you want something to like print out and take notes on, you can do this slides here. So video lecture is YouTube, right? YouTube video. And then the lecture is a slideshow. So it's a PDF. So you just click on the PDF and you get the slideshow. And these are the same slides I use in a video lecture, but you don't have to listen to me talk. So maybe you don't want to listen to me talk. You find me annoying. And you wouldn't be the first ones or the last ones to find me annoying. That's just the truth. A lot of people find me annoying. Look, you don't want to listen to me talk? You can just look at the slides. Or whatever you want to do. Whatever works for you. I think the video lectures are helpful. Maybe you don't find them helpful, then you can skip them. But I think I explain things a little bit differently than the book. So if you read the book and you listen to the lecture, you're going to probably get a little bit different explanation, and maybe one of those explanations works better for you. Right? Because I didn't write the book, so the way I explain things might be slightly different. But whatever works for you. I've given you the option of the video lecture or the PDF slides. And of course you should be reading the book. So video lecture says video lecture. Lectured is just the slides lecture. Achieve here takes you to Achieve. Right? It takes you right to Achieve. You have to log in. Same thing I just showed you before. Under my course, right? Let's go back. This is the welcome unit you have to do in Achieve for week 1. Then you have to do Achieve Chapter 1. You just click on the links, it takes you to Achieve. Here are the due dates and the due time. So the due dates are always the end of the week, 11:59 p.m. And then you have some videos here. So these are some YouTube videos that touch on the topics for that week. So this is your week 1. All of this. So basically you're reading the book, you're either watching the video lecture or reading through the slides, hopefully both. You're doing the to Achieve, the welcome unit in chapter 1, and you're watching these YouTube videos. And once you've done all that and you've read the chapter, you're done. Now, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it's work. It's going to take time, so make sure you set aside several hours a week to work on this course. And if you want the to-do list, so if you want to make sure you've done all of this, right? Click on the to-do list, and here's the to-do list. So this is the date, this is the week, the dates. This is the chapter you're going to read. These are the pages. If you have a physical copy of the book, these are the pages, right? But it's chapter 1 here, so just read chapter 1. If you want to read it online, read chapter 1 online. And this is the assignments: Achieve, Welcome Unit, Orientation, and chapter 1 in Achieve. And these are the due dates. And every week the to-do list will tell you exactly what you have to do, what the topic is, and when it's due. And you can cross it off. You do everything, you're good. You're done for the week. Now, some weeks are going to be more work than other weeks. Some weeks you're going to have writing. I generally give you multiple weeks to do the writing assignments, but if you postpone the writing assignments, you might be doing a lot of work in 1 week. So my advice is make sure you're up to date doing the work week in and week out, because if you get behind, it becomes like an avalanche. You have to do the work each week. That's the best way to do the course. Don't make your life difficult. Don't make my life difficult. Do the work every week. I know that sounds like common sense, but it's not, because there are plenty of students that are doing other things and they're procrastinating, or they're really busy and they just postpone. And since it's an online class, you don't have to come to class, so you don't have to see me telling you what the hell is going on. You're not doing any of the work. Right? So that can snowball for the entire semester. Then you get to the end of the semester and you're in panic mode trying to catch up. And that's not how you want to run the course, because when that happens, I'm going to say no. No, I will not accept 14 chapters a week before the final exams. Sorry. I told you do the work throughout the course. You didn't. What do you want me to do for you? You didn't listen to the directions. So don't make that mistake. If there's a serious problem, email me and let's talk about it. And if you need an extension because you have some issues going on, serious issues, I understand that. As long as it's not every week. If you have serious issues every week, then you might want to consider, dropping the course and taking it when you have more time. But if something comes up, just send me an email. I mean, I understand that things happen in people's lives. Believe me, I understand. We all have difficulties. Some more than others, but we all have difficulties. I'm a very understanding person, but my charity and my kindness has limits. Like, I will not be walked over. And unfortunately, some students feel that they can just do what they want. No, you cannot do what you want. You must follow my directions and listen to the rules I've set up for the course. I'm a very reasonable person. You do what I ask you to do, you're going to be fine. It's when you feel like you can do anything you want where the problems start to come in, right? Okay, so that was week 1 of the weekly guide. For week 2, you click on week 2. You got your week 2 to-do list here. Now, you won't be able to see all the weeks because I only put up 1 week at a time. Because I also don't want you doing all the work at the beginning of the course either. Some students like to do all the work at the beginning because they know that they're going to get busy later. This course is best done week to week. There's a reason I don't want late assignments and I don't want you doing everything at the beginning. It's because that's not the best way to learn in this course. Do it week to week. Here's week 2. Now week 2 you have discussion board 1. So if you go to week 2, if you click on discussion board 1, there's your assignment. Here's your discussion board. I want you to paraphrase. This is week 2, right? If you want to complete this, click on the link, right? And then click start a new thread. Put the subject, you can put discussion board 1 or whatever, and then put your response here, right? You don't have to subscribe to the thread because there's nothing really to subscribe to. These discussion boards do not require a response to a classmate. So I am not requiring any response to classmates. This is basically for me to see if you know what you're doing, the discussion board. It's kind of I'm the intended audience, not your classmates. So in that sense, it's kind of a quasi discussion board because it's more for me to have a discussion with you. If I feel that there's you're missing something, I will give you feedback. Okay, so you don't have to reply to a classmate. I know that that's common in most classes with the discussion board. You have to reply to 2 classmates. You don't have to do that here. Just send me, start a thread, write your response. I read it and I will give you feedback. And the more feedback, the more problems I have with it, I'll give you more feedback. So if I don't write a lot, that means you're on the right track. If I write a lot, that means you need to really change things in a certain way. So you will have a discussion board. There's 10 of them during the semester. So it's not every other week, but not every week. So let me go back. Let's go back to the weekly guide. So you do that for week 2. And then eventually you'll have writing assignments. So if you go down to the folder, let's go to the widgets here. Written assignments. These are assignments for the paper, for the rough drafts, and then eventually for the final paper. So I give you instructions. I will also make a video for each of these parts of the manuscript. So I'll have a video showing you what to do. You really need to watch that video and follow the directions. When I say I want 8 paragraphs, I want 8 paragraphs. It's not optional. Like, you can't just say, well, he said 8 paragraphs, but I'm going to write 20 paragraphs because it'll be better if I write more. No. That's one thing that students need to understand. Writing more does not make it better. You need to write enough, but you need to write concisely. You need to communicate in the requisite amount of paragraphs or within the structure I give you. So follow directions. I could say that's like the most important part of the class. Follow directions. If you're confused, contact me. Email me. And I will try to clarify. Don't just say, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Yeah, he said do it this way, but yeah, I think I can do it better my way. No, your way is not better. I've been doing this for many, many years. I have a plan. I have a structure. I have a system to try to help you learn. And it involves a very structured course like this to introduce you to research. And eventually, when you get better at writing and writing scientifically, you will be able to expand, right? Like this structure is only for this class because it's a beginning level research class. And I feel that you need structure. Once you get good at this, which probably will happen in graduate school, if you go to graduate school, you're going to be writing much more complicated manuscripts. This is a very simple manuscript. But it's a good place to start, right, to learn. That's why I've kept it simple. That's why I'm giving you step-by-step instructions to try to keep it simple for you. And you got to listen to those directions. You got to follow those directions. So you're going to have a PDF talking about how to write the manuscript, each section. You're going to have a video, which I haven't posted yet. I have to make the videos, obviously. And then you're going to have a submission where it says, please submit your introduction. You're going to submit to turn it in, right? So you're going to submit your paper, attach your paper as introduction. Obviously, I see the screen where no one submitted anything yet. But you're going to submit to turn it in. And I'm going to look at the similarities. So I don't want you to plagiarize. So you cannot copy and paste. You cannot use block quotations. You need to paraphrase and cite, and I'll talk more about this when we get to the writing part of the course, when we start generating these parts of the manuscript. You got to paraphrase everything, no direct quotes. I do not want direct quotes in a research, psychology research manuscript. It's not an English or literature manuscript. No direct quotes, paraphrase, which is put it in your own words, and cite. Cite means in-text citation, author, comma, year, and I will talk more about this when we get to it. I want structure. I'm going to grade both structurally and for content. And then you'll get a grade between 0 and 10 on the rough draft. And then whatever feedback I need to give you. If there's less feedback, you've done a good job. If there's more feedback, you need to change things more. Those are rough drafts. And then at the end of the semester, you'll have a final paper. So if you look at the bottom of this under written assignments, if you look towards the bottom of the page, you'll see final paper. Revised final paper. This is where you submit the entire revised manuscript that you've been working on, that I've given you feedback all semester. Hopefully you've made the changes I asked for, and then you submit it to your revised final paper. And then your final paper grade will be half of this revised paper and half of your rough draft average. Now, the reason why I count the rough drafts as part of your paper grade is I want to see effort. And if I didn't count the rough drafts at all, people would just, at the last second, write one paragraph and then just say, okay, I'll write it at the end of the semester. I don't have time for this right now. I'll wait till the end of the semester to do it. And only worry about the revised paper, revised final paper. But now you have to worry about the rough drafts because I'm going to grade them. They're going to count towards your final paper grade. So please make an effort for the rough drafts, because if you make an effort on the rough drafts, your paper grade is going to be higher than if you're not doing a good rough draft. So this is my way of making you put effort into the rough drafts. And then the revised paper should be better than the rough drafts. I should see the changes that I asked for in your final paper. And if you follow my instructions and you listen to my feedback and incorporate it, you will be fine. If you decide to write whatever you want, you will not be fine. And then the course becomes much more difficult. So if you look at the syllabus, this is on Achieve here. Grades. Where do I got grades here? The midterm, 20%. The final, 20%. Achieve homeworks, 20%. Discussion board, 10%. And the research paper, 30%. Now, half of this 30% will be the average of your 4 rough drafts. And half of this 30% will be the revised paper, incorporating my feedback. So those rough drafts are a big part of your grade. So put an effort in. I'm not going to grade you like I'm grading someone submitting for a journal, like a top journal. I actually do review articles for a top journal. I review manuscripts. Not all the time, but I do occasionally. And yes, it could be, a reviewer can be very, very strict. I'm not looking for that. This is a learning endeavor. I just want to see you follow directions and see if you can write. And if you can't write, you need to get your writing looked at by the Writing Center. You may need some help with it. And it's very important to get your writing straightened out before you leave VMCC, because it's going to get harder and harder, right? You're going to be doing more and more writing. So it's best to fix your writing here before you move on. And you have a writing lab, a writing center that can help you. So if you need help, use the Writing Center. I do not give incomplete grades for the course. The reason is because everybody started asking for incompletes at one point. Like, everybody was like, please, can you give me incomplete? I just have too much work. But then what happened was they were supposed to make up the work for the incomplete, and then almost no one did. I think I had one student finish, 1 or 2 students in 10 years finish incomplete. Most of the students just didn't finish. So I just stopped giving them, because it's just a waste of my time and a waste of the students' time when students can't do the work. So there are no incompletes. If you have a catastrophic event, please let me know. We can talk about your options. Right? This is the tentative schedule week for week. And you need to be registered by the registrar's office, and you need to be cleared through the bursar's office if you want to remain in the class. If you don't pay your bill or you don't get your financial aid, they will drop your schedule. So then you will be out of the class, and it will be hard to get back into the class. So please make sure you follow up with the bursar's office and that you're registered correctly for the course, and therefore there will be no problems. I've seen students not pay their bill and then they just drop their entire schedule. And they had A's in classes, and those A's just went down the drain because they didn't pay their bill. Unfortunately, they want their bills paid, right? So it's your responsibility. If I decide to change anything, I will let you know. But this is the tentative class schedule. So hopefully that explains Brightspace, Achieve, and the course in general, right? Is there anything else here I want to talk about? So course information is for syllabus and Achieve. The weekly guide you want to use every week to see what you have to do for each week. Written assignments are for when you're going to submit the 4 rough drafts and the final paper for the manuscript that we're doing on COVID. The discussion board is for the discussion board that you'll be assigned, but you'll see this in the weekly guide. You'll see these written assignments in the weekly guide too, but you have to submit them here. So if it says introduction due this week, you click under written assignments. And once you're under written assignments, you click on where it says please submit your introduction as a PDF. You click on this link, you upload your PDF, and you're done. Same for the method, same for the discussion, same for the title, abstract references, and eventually at the end of the semester, same for the revised final paper. Upload everything as a PDF. So outside of that, there's probably not much more to do. Here, I've talked a lot. So those are your most important things. Course information, weekly guide, written assignments, discussion board, the e-learning orientation. Do the Brightspace tutorial. That's very important. I showed you at the beginning. You could also have, there's also some help menus. You'll see a little bit different web page than I do, because not everything will be visible to you. So I'm just showing you my web page, my Brightspace page. You'll have a slightly different one. But these 4 categories, course information, weekly guide, written assignments, discussion board, are essential for the course. So you'll need all 4 of these to use them. And that's it. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to giving you an enjoyable course this semester, and I hope it's not too painful for you. Please follow the directions, I beg of you. And if you have any questions, drop me a line. Let me know what I can help you with. And you'll see more of these videos when we get to the manuscript. So I'm going to make a video for each part of the manuscript. I suggest you watch those videos. Make sure you pay attention for any announcements I make. And like I said, reach out to me if there's a problem. So, nice to meet you, and bye for now. See you online.